In Scenario 2 of ClusterXL troubleshooting, we are using an R77.30 high availability cluster gateways, and same version of security management. In this scenario both cluster members are in active state. Each member recognizes the status of the other member as ClusterXL inactive or machine is down. It is shown on SSH connection to the gateways with the command cpha prob stat. The first thing that we ask ourselves is, do the cluster members see each other? As we can see in the cluster topology, in this environment, the synchronization interface is ETH3. We run ping on interface ETH3 to check if there is IP connectivity between the members. Ping is replying. To verify there isn't any cluster critical device in problem status, run cpha prob list. Next question is, if there is connectivity on the sync network, is synchronization traffic is sent and received? We can check it with the fwctlp stat command. Here we see that there are packets that were sent and received. But these counters are cumulative. Are sync packets being sent and received now? We can check it with the watch command, which will refresh the output any given interval. The tail -12 will show us only the bottom 12 lines. Now we can see that only the sent counter is increasing, meaning that sync packets are not received. Let's check it on the other member. It is the same. This verifies that the cluster member cpha processes don't see each other, although there is physical connectivity. Next step, we will run TCP dump on the sync interface, to check the CCP packets. Cluster Control Protocol, or CCP for short, is running between the members on UDP port 8116. It is responsible for the state synchronization of kernel tables between the members, and for health check, that include report exchange and query of other members' state. We will run TCP dump on the sync interface. The NN flags are used to not convert hostname, protocol and port numbers to names. The E flag prints the link level header on each dump line, and the I flag listens on specific interface. There is a lot of CCP traffic that is passing on this interface, so we stop it with Ctrl+E. We can see the traffic is UDP port 8116. We also see the source and destination MAC addresses. Carefully examining the source MAC addresses in the output reveals some strange behavior. The structure of the source MAC address of CCP Delta Sync and CCP Health Check packet is as following. Up to our 77.20 version including an IPSO and secure platform, the first 4 octets are 0. The 5th octet is the value of the kernel parameter FWHA MAC magic, and the 6th octet is the cluster ID of the source member. 00 for cluster ID 0, and 01 for cluster ID 1. In R77.30 and above there was a change, and the fifth octet is the value of the cluster global ID. More information can be found in the ClusterXL Advanced Troubleshooting Guide, link is in the video details section. The fifth octet is a cluster identifier, which has to be the same on all cluster members. This is especially important in an environment where several clusters are connected to the same physical network. As these gateways are R77.30, the relevant parameter is the cluster global ID. It is configured on the first-time configuration wizard, during the installation of a new cluster gateway. The default value, in case it was not changed in the first-time configuration, is 254, which is FE in hexadecimal. In case this value was changed in the past, and one of the cluster member had to be reinstalled, the new member cluster ID have to be set to match the existing member. We check the cluster ID on member GW1, with the command, cphaconf, cluster ID, get. 155 decimal is 9B hexadecimal, which is the max fifth octet of member ID 0. On member GW2, 133 is hexadecimal 85, which is the fifth octet of MAC address of member ID 1. To fix it, let's set GW2 cluster ID the same as GW1, with the command cphaconf, cluster ID set, 155. This command survives reboot. To verify, we will run TCP dump again. We can see that the source MAC fifth octet is now the same. Run the watch command. Both the send and receive counters are increasing. Verifying the cluster status with cpha prob stat, now the cluster is back to normal state. Thank you for watching this video.